You want to get on the action? We want to hear from you. Hit us up, faderoutemail@gmail.com. Slide in our DMs on IG @FadeRoutePodcast. Drop us a DM on Twitter @FadeRouteDNZ. Comment on our YouTube channel, The Fade Route with DNZ. Questions, comments, picks, segment suggestions, you name it, we want to hear from you. Get at us, in crowd. Order up! All right, boys and girls, as part of our MLB preview, it is time for us to order up.
Order up, order up.
This week, we are ordering up the American League East from 5 to 1. Who ya got, D?
Oh, trash. All right, start with the Boston Red Sox. How the mighty have fallen. Trevor Story, Alberto Mondesi, Rafa Devers is the offense. Chris Sale, Corey Kluber, Nick Pivetta, and James Paxton. That guy still pitches.
No, he doesn't.
I mean, do I have to say any more? Boston's in the bottom of this barrel. Number 4, I've got Tampa. I think it really comes down to Glass now and Wander Franco. The Rays have pushed the right buttons for the last several years, and I think they'll do enough to compete for a wild card spot. Nothing crazy. Number 3, I got the Yankees, man. I think their pitching is going to fail them. We talked about it earlier in this broadcast. Rodon is already hurt. Cole is not a leader. Montas is hurt. Severino was hurt last year. Nestor Cortez is hurt. And Domingo Germán ain't shit. So that's what I got with the Yankees. Number 2, I got Toronto. I think Vlad Jr. will lead the league in home runs again. I like how they upgraded the defense of the outfield with Kielmeyer and Varsho. I do like what Toronto did in the offseason. And I think it's time, man. It's Baltimore Orioles time. No Brady Anderson, but they've got Adley Rutschman. I got him winning the MVP. I think the Young O's are winning the division. I think pitching, they're gonna have to pitch their hearts out. Kyle Bradish, Kramer, Grayson, Rodriguez, and then that's it. That's what I got. What do you got, Z?
I mean, that's a bold choice at number 1. That is definitely a bold choice. Now, we can agree on the Boston Red Sox. The Boston Red Sox, it does not look good. But your opening day starter is Corey Kluber. That's all you need to know about the Boston Red Sox. And this is not the Corey Kluber who was with the then Cleveland Indians, right? This is the Corey Kluber that's kind of been bouncing around between the Yankees and the Rangers and the Rays, and now he's with you. He's a number 5. He's a guy he's an innings eater.
He's a number 5.
He's a number 5. He's an innings eater. He's a guy who's there to get his ass kicked. Not in your rotation. Not in yours. James Paxton, you're still paying him? Like, he's hurt again. Well, no shit. He's hurt still. Chris Sale, what are you going to get from Chris Sale? Not much. Not much. Like, you're banking on Tristan Casas. You're banking on, maybe Bobby Dahlbeck finally becomes something. But
yeah, right.
Yeah, Rafa Devers is probably gonna. They're gonna have to get rid of Rafa Devers. Like, you brought in Adam Duvall. He's probably gonna get traded. You're probably gonna trade Kike Hernandez. Like, I don't see a whole lot of wins. I don't see a whole lot coming out of this. The immortal Joely Rodriguez is in your bullpen. Like, I don't see a lot there. 4th place, the New York Yankees. They did not. Nothing they did impressed me. Their rotation. Like, hopefully they're getting it out of the way now. But if they're not, they're in for a long year. And there are too many question marks. There are too many question marks as far as IKF, Donaldson, Hicks. Like, are you, is Jose Trevino for real? Is DJ LeMahieu going to be healthy all year? There's a lot. There's a lot of questions. Is Volpe going to make this team? Is Volpe going to be any good? What are you going to get from Glaber? I mean, the surest thing is Aaron Judge. Giancarlo Stanton to a lesser degree. But that's it. Everything else up in the air. That's too rich for my blood. I'm not fixing to take that. Number 3. I like the Rays. Right? Their young pitching is going to be a year stronger. Glasnow will be back. Like, we'll see if Glasnow will be what Glasnow was. Yura McClanahan, we'll see what Shane McClanahan is. And they always seem to draft and develop. They always seem to find the guy. Like, who's it going to be this year? Who's going to be the guy that they found that's going to, like, unlock himself and become a superstar? Is it going to be Luke Raley? Is it going to be Jose Siri? Is it going to be Paredes, Isaac Paredes? Like, you saw a little flash from him last year. Is he going to be the guy? Like, Kevin Cash always seems to know what he's doing, and that organization is always on point. So the Rays are they're gonna be in the conversation. Number 2, I think they're a year away. They're a year and a couple of good pitchers away. They have good young pitchers, but they need some veteran anchors. They're not there yet. Kyle Gibson is not it. And I'm talking about the Baltimore Orioles. Like, they can hit. They absolutely can hit. Like, is John Means going to be back healthy this year? Who knows? You hope so. Austin Voth. Saw plenty of him with the Nationals, but was not impressed. They probably need 1 or 2 more arms. Now, is it possible? Do they get in on the Shohei Ohtani sweepstakes if he becomes available and they're in the playoff hunt? They have assets to give. Henderson is untouchable. Rutschman is untouchable. Everybody else, if it means I get Shohei Ohtani, take your pick. Take your pick. I like the Orioles a lot, just not as much as I like the Toronto Blue Jays. They reinforced, right? They brought in Chris Bassett. Say what you will about his performance at the end of last year. He's one of the main reasons that the Mets got where they got. Kikuchi. Can Kikuchi be who he was in Seattle? If that's the case, they're on to something. Barrios. Gausman. Manoah. That's pretty good. And then at the end of the bullpen, if Chad Green is healthy, you put Chad Green and Jordan Romano together. That's a good back end of the bullpen. That's a really good back end of the bullpen. And this team's going to hit. You know this team's going to hit. You know, Kirk, Bichette, Biggio, Vladdy Jr., Whit Merrifield. They brought in Brandon Belt. Like, Brandon Belt is going to help spell Vladdy, going to keep him fresh. And I really, it's possible, Vladdy can take home the MVP this year because they went out and got Brandon Belt. They are a little thin in the outfield. If Kiermaier gets hurt, like, what are you going to do? I guess you move Whit Merrifield to the outfield. I didn't even mention Matt Chapman. Like, it's an embarrassment of riches up in Toronto. And it's starting to look like those old, the 89, 90, 91, 92 Blue Jay teams where they had some depth and they had studs. And it wouldn't surprise me if they made a deep run in the playoffs this year.
Thanks for listening to this episode of our podcast. If you like what you heard and want to hear more, be sure to like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Rate us 5 stars, leave us a review, turn on subscription notifications, and tell your friends. Spread the word, spread it wide.